So on today's episode we're going to be doing the rear calipers, maybe the front ones as well. But these little bad boys have been seized for quite a long time. I have done the pads on them, but yeah, these discs are absolutely horrible. So I bought myself a set of new calipers, well, second-hand calipers. They actually came out of a Abarth 500 as well. Pretty much everything I'm trying to throw on this is Abarth 500. Not because it's Abarth, just because it seems to fit and it's a bit more fresh than buying like second-hand Panda calipers. So, but I'm 90% sure they're exactly the same calipers on the rear. On the front it'll be different ones, so I'll show you a little later what they're going to be like. So I'm going to try and take apart these calipers. Now there might be a little bit of issues because you may have to actually take off the hub, because this is a UK car. It's got UK rust on it. So I'm going to get into it. So you can see in here there's a Torx bit inside the caliper, which is holding the caliper, and another one just above that. I'm pretty sure I've rounded off the top one from a while back when I was trying to do this. So the only way that I can get to these is using a bolt remover tool. I have that lying around here somewhere, but if you can't get to them, what you can do is undo the bolts that hold the actual hub in place and see if you can go at it that way. So this actually came off quite easy. I'm surprised, but I think a big help are these flare nuts or flare spanners. They really do work. I always thought it was a load of BS, but actually they did a great job, because I know already from experience from the front I have screwed up one of these nuts and I can't actually probably remove the front caliper without having to replace the whole line. But definitely these flare nuts, flare spanners are great. So for this it uses a size 11. I smashed in a good bit of WD-40. So next I'm going to be reusing these pads because they're still new enough. I need to remove the caliper carrier to replace it with the new one. So let's get to that. So not only is Panda going to be getting new calipers all around, it's actually going to be getting new brake lines as well. These bad boys are damn, I forgot the name, something Cobra. They're on eBay. I'll link them into the description below. But you get a set of 5. I mean, you can opt in for whichever caliper you need them for. You can get just the fronts, just the rears. With the rears you get 3 cables, because there is another cable. So this bottom line here, I think this one needs to be replaced, and that'll be the other one that has to be replaced. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm going to be replacing it with these braided lines. So technically this is the first caliper done, the rear. I still need to take off the bracket and replace the disc, because this disc obviously is disgusting. This here fits up really nicely. I just need to plug back in the retainer clip to hold it in place, and that's this caliper done, except for the line down there. I'll do that now as well. I'm hanging it at the moment because otherwise there's too much strain on the cables here, so just to keep it out of the way. It fits up nicely once it's actually like put it into place. Like it has good length and everything, so I'm very happy with the product. So this caliper carrier is actually putting up a bit of a fight, and I thought I had actually gotten the tool that I needed to take it out, but unfortunately these aren't, well, at least there isn't the right size nut remover that I have here. So I'm not sure I can take off this bolt apart from cutting it, because I don't have another nut remover or bolt remover. Damn. Alright, look at these beauties. I managed to take off the caliper carrier. I had to take the whole hub off actually. The 4 nuts. I had to remove them. I think they're a size 15. And once I removed them, I brought it over to my grinding wheel and I just smashed it right off. Now everything is fitting in nicely. I've put the brake pads in. I have the new disc in. These are Brembo Max. Now I'm about to put on the caliper. And there we have it, the caliper is on. I'm kind of liking all the colors. I have all the red and the yellow. Funky. I really hope to replace the rear axle at some point, because it's very much so rusted. Not critically, but you know, preferably would like to be able to sort that out.
And here is the actual final product. So we have all the brake lines, we have the new discs, new pads, new caliper, along with the red and yellow suspension bits and pieces. And the same thing was done on the other side.
So today is another day and I'm going to be working on the front brakes today. So I've taken off the caliper and I've hung it up on some cable ties and removed the discs. But mainly it's because I want to test fit something, because I got something really awesome. I'd like to thank someone from the Facebook page. Probably won't mention him by name just in case, but bought a set of Alfa Romeo Brembos. And potentially these are just a direct fit. The only problem would be is, of course, the wheel size. So right now I'm just going to be trying to test fit the sizes, make sure the wheel fits over it, and let's see how it goes. So just as a quick general kind of fitment, obviously the wheel isn't bolted down and everything. These are massive calipers and massive discs. I mean, there's the difference between them in diameter. I think these are 305. I've forgotten what the measurements are. There are also a 330 variant for the Abarth 500, and then these are the 285 single piston calipers. These are 4-pot. These are freaking awesome. They seem to bolt up correctly into the correct place. They're going to be tucked in a little bit further, so I don't think space is an issue, because I also run spacers. I think overall though, we may be a few millimeters close, but I think we should be fine. But won't know until I actually bolt it up. I haven't attached any of the cabling or anything like that. I still have the old caliper behind this caliper, but I'm just kind of making sure that everything fits properly. These calipers are for the other side rather than this side, but it's not a big deal. I can swap them out. Yeah. Shut up, seagull. And then to add it to the ones in the rear, they came out nicely. Well, that's another one for rust. It has finally beaten me on this as well. I've rounded off the nut that goes into the brake hose. So chances are I'll probably need to replace this whole brake hose, the hard line of it anyway. But for now, I'm just going to have to run with the rubber hoses on the front, because it's rounded off on the opposite side of the car as well. So for now, these Brembos are going to be running the rubber hoses. That's poo, but what can you do? And even using these, the placement of the actual caliper brake line fitment bit thingamabob, it's way back here, and so that puts a little bit of strain on the brake line. Now what's nice about these braided lines that I have, they have these grommets in place and they actually move around. So when they're going to be on the Panda, they'll be moving around as I turn the wheel. Now they do get a little bit stuck if you're moving them around too much at an angle, but a little bit of copper grease or something will go down nicely and fit the grommet in here. Grease it up a little bit, and so it'll give it that kind of movement so that it doesn't strain the actual cable. I might do something else for it, we'll see. I might make something here to hold it in place like this. The company that makes those brake hoses, you can actually request them to give you kind of like a custom size. Maybe just to change it a little bit, they can extend it for you to give your fitment a little bit better. So I would say maybe get it extended by maybe an inch or two, just to give it that extra flexibility. Maybe even 2 inches. That would be good. But it's looking pretty sweet. So cool.
Doing this swap is generally easy. You just got to make sure that you have planned ahead. Make sure that you have all the equipment that you need, all the tools, which kind of is the equipment, all the parts that you need, which will make life a lot easier for you. Here I'm removing the 2 bolts off of the caliper carrier so that I can remove the caliper itself.
If it can't get loose, use your foot. Foot loose.
Because the nuts on the hard line actually all rusted away and rounded off, I have to reuse the rubber hoses I mentioned before. So here I am replacing the hard line that I had already attached to the caliper and putting it on in place of the old caliper